Hello everyone, welcome to Max Brains. So in this video we are going to continue seeing the concept of food for science CTET paper 2 in English. Okay, so we've already seen 3 videos for this, and this is going to be the 4th video under the various components of food and their functions. We've already finished with the components of food. So under this we have already finished with carbohydrates and fats. The next one is going to be about proteins. We've seen about carbohydrates and fats in detail, and now we'll have to look into what protein is all about. Okay, so now before we get into this, there was a question from one of you people, from which book I'm taking all this. So the base is from the NCERT textbook, but then I'm going a little more in detail into the concepts, because sometimes it will be expected to know a little more because you will come across these concepts till your 8th standard. Okay, so I'm just collecting few extra concepts also. So I will be posting a comparison video for all these carbohydrates, fats and proteins after this video comes out, so that will help you understand. So these concepts, that is the first chapter, food, the major thing is from the class 6 NCERT textbook. Okay, you can make a note of it. Class 6 NCERT textbook has all these concepts, but as I said, I'm going little more in detail towards the concepts, so that it will be easy for you to answer if at all something is going to be as little difficult. So now coming to the topic. So what are proteins? Proteins are going to be complex organic compounds. Okay, so proteins are nothing but they are complex organic compounds. And what do these proteins have? Proteins have carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen. Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen. So when we learned about carbohydrates, I told you it has carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, but when it comes to proteins, you have one more thing called nitrogen also. But there are some proteins which also contain sulfur, phosphorus and iron. Okay, so not only that, proteins, you can see that they are complex organic compounds which have this as well as these three. Okay, so they have, you can see that one protein molecule, it is made up of a number of smaller molecules. Okay, so one protein molecule, it is made up of a number of smaller molecules, so which you call as amino acids, So you can have this as R is the some group, then it is going to be CH, NH2, COOH. Okay, so this is what you call it as amino acids. When you call it, it's going to be like that. And in our body, there are 20 different amino acids. So this you need to remember. There are 20 different amino acids in our body. Now, so where do we have these proteins? Proteins, again, they have both plant sources and animal sources. Okay, so proteins are sourced from both plants and animals. So plants, when you see, you can see it in groundnuts and then beans. Then you can see it in cereals, that as maize, wheat, all those stuff. Okay, so all these are going to have proteins. They are already source of proteins. And even pulses. Okay, so all these pulses, all the pulses, they are all highly rich in protein. Then what about your animal sources? Animal sources, you can say it is found in milk, fish, meat, eggs, etc. So all these are going to be primary source of animal proteins. So what do they do? So what is their role? So if you see, proteins play a major role in digestion, in the growth and repair. Okay, so growth and repair, digestion, growth and repair. So these are things, and they also catalyze certain chemical processes going on in our body. So for an adult, you need 1 gram per kilogram of body weight. For example, If you are going to have 50 kilogram, then you will have to have at least 50 grams of proteins. Okay. So this is there, and when it is going to be growing children and pregnant women, then it is going to be even more. Okay, those people need more than this. And you know, our human blood, okay, the blood in our body, it also contains a protein, and that protein is called hemoglobin. That protein is called hemoglobin. And what does this do? It transports oxygen from the lungs to the cells and carbon dioxide from the cells to the lungs. Okay, so this is done by this component called hemoglobin. See, all this you will come across when we are learning those concepts. Okay, but then I just want to bring everything together and make it easy for you, so that I'm just bringing all these concepts here itself. Now, what will happen if you don't have much protein? Okay, so when a person is going to have less intake of protein, then the person might come to have some condition called as protein energy malnutrition. Protein energy malnutrition. So this protein energy malnutrition is a deficiency of both proteins and carbohydrates. Okay, both proteins and carbohydrates. So in that case, you have the condition of diseases like kwashiorkor. Okay, like kwashiorkor, and you will have another condition called marasmus. So these are the two conditions which might occur. So kwashiorkor, it will affect children of age 1 to 5, okay, when they are not fed protein rich mother's milk, and it includes irritability, pathetic facial expressions, cracked skin, swollen abdomen, weak legs, reddish hair. So all these happens under malnutrition kids. And marasmus is again something similar, but the child will develop very thin loose folds of skin. Okay, very thin and loose folds of skin all over the body. Okay, so these are the two conditions of protein energy malnutrition which will happen, which are likely to occur when a person is deficient of proteins. So proteins are equally important. Next, so how do you test if a food item contains protein or not? So if a food item is solid, you can make a paste or a powder, okay, of that particular food item, and you can add 10 drops of water. 10 drops of water, and then 2 drops of copper sulfate and 10 drops of caustic soda, that is NaOH. Okay, so when all this is done, what you will get? You will have an appearance of violet color. Okay, so if you have violet color on adding 10 drops of water, 2 drops of copper sulfate and 10 drops of sodium hydroxide, that is caustic soda, to the paste or the powder of the food item, and if you are going to get a violet color, it means that that particular food item contains protein. Okay, so this is all about proteins. Hope you have understood this. So we've gone through the concepts of carbohydrates, fats and proteins in detail. I'll surely do a comparison video next along with the reference of the textbook. So I thought I'll include the pictures in the textbook, so that those who are in the habit of referring with your NCERT textbooks, it will be useful for you. I would encourage each and every one of you to download the textbooks from the internet and then compare it, so that it will be easy for you. So see you again with the next comparison video. Thank you everyone.